In the far distant future, things ain't so bright. In fact, it's far from that. Civilization and most living things are mostly extinct. These ocean monuments, though, withheld the tests of time. So, no pigs, cows, sheeps, horses, and even trees. We'll be exploring this barren ocean wasteland and try and restore civilization. This is 100 plus days in Minecraft Hardcore Ocean Apocalypse. Take a deep breath, because this episode, it's gonna be a long one. And you know what? This isn't just 100 days. It's 300 plus days. My biggest episode ever. So let's dive right in and start our adventure on day 1. So I figured the meta would be going to shipwrecks first. My very first chest was pretty much garbage. So I went up to catch my breath again. And here's to hoping that the second chest would actually have something useful for this really long journey. And luckily, there's some carrots and rotten flesh. I'm not gonna complain about rotten flesh at this point though. Any food is more than welcome. And second chest has some iron and emeralds. That should make life a little bit easier. Just enough for some tools, but I better watch my breath here. I'm gonna have to do a lot of diving on this episode. Besides shipwrecks, we can also find some ruined portals, and usually they have some pretty good loot. Some golden carrots, some armor pieces, and a golden axe with mending. Was searching through some more shipwrecks when the drowned with a trident popped up, and I'm not equipped to fight one of those. Luckily for me, I dodged the tridents. You could oh so easily die to these, especially early on. And I dodged another one right there. You know what? I'm out of here. The day was getting late, mobs are sure to spawn soon, and I don't even have a bed. You know what? I don't even have a crafting table yet, so decided to just farm wood from these shipwrecks. I went up to catch a breath and quickly crafted a crafting table. With absolutely no land in sight, I crafted some doors, because I'm gonna need to have a way of breathing underwater. With these doors, I think I can pretty much farm a lot of wood from these shipwrecks, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. Chop some wood. I went exploring a little bit more and I found this ravine, and right next to it is a mineshaft. And with mineshafts, you have cobwebs, which means strings, which means we can craft a bed. But before that, we're gonna need some tools. Got myself an iron pickaxe and an iron axe, and with that I managed to farm enough iron for a full set of iron armor. And you know what? That's not too shabby for day 2 in this desolate ocean world. Okay, it's time to make the best out of these mineshafts. I'm gonna grab as much wood as I can and grab as many cobwebs as I can. I also had a stroke of good fortune while I was exploring these mineshafts. On one end was dirt. And you know what? I wasn't even sure if I could find dirt in this ocean world. And this pretty much means that we can farm. We did have those carrots after all. So I decided to start building my base, and you know what? I usually don't build my base until like day 10 or 20. I usually just linger around. But since I realized that this was gonna be a really long episode, I'm gonna build my base early this time. I started things off by building farmland in the middle. And that's pretty much gonna be the centerpiece of this starter build. And the next step is to build a platform. I decided to use slabs and build in a circular fashion. Because that is sort of in fashion nowadays, I would say. And I gotta say, I'm not good at making circles. Yeah, I somehow messed that up. Yeah, being precise is definitely not one of my strongest points. How did I mess that up? You know what? This isn't too hard to fix though. I just gotta add some blocks on one side. So I did that. And I started filling the center parts with slabs as well. Just a few more spots left, and I have a full circle. I've also begun my carrot farm. Next step, building a super awful starter home. We're gonna replace this not long from now, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty basic. Yeah, nah, I'm not too proud of this design. I'm not. Anyway, it's time for some fishing. Because we need some better food source. I mean, carrots ain't that good. Cooked salmon and cooked cod, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. Not the best food source, but they're not too bad. Right, it's time to head back into the oceans, and this time into the mines. We're still playing on 1.16, so we don't have those nice big new massive caverns just yet, so for now, strip mining will just have to do. I placed a door at the bottom of a ravine just to get at a low enough level to start mining for diamonds, went inside, and surely enough, we're actually at the right level for diamonds, so yeah, strip mining time. So I spent several days strip mining, and no luck at all. Just no diamonds. You know how sometimes you find tons in no time and sometimes you find none in a lot of time? These were one of those times. On day 6 though, I found a little cave system and a little bit of aggro over here. A few skeletons fighting each other off, so I'll gladly watch them. But lucky for me... Okay, let's look around this cave. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, not much luck in strip mining, but I don't know, maybe I'll... Oh, hang on. Oh! Yeah, that did give me a bit of a shocker right there. But anyway, let's go grab those diamonds. I explored the caves some more, but didn't find any more diamonds, so I went back to strip mining, and this time finally got a bit lucky and found a good diamond node. I continued again with my strip mining endeavors, but it took quite a bit of time before I finally found my next diamond node. In fact, it took so much time that I had to scroll the screen and go till the very end before I actually found my next diamond node. But it finally arrived. It was a pretty big diamond node too. I'm up to around 20-ish diamonds at this point, and I guess my goal is to get 30-ish diamonds. That should be enough. So I kept the grind going, and surely enough, finally found my next node. We're at 33 now, which isn't too bad, but you know what, I think I might need just a few more. So we're gonna have to scroll the screen again. This was my first time recording strip mining from a top-down point of view. I never actually realized these strip mines, they get pretty massive. At this point, I decided to call it quits for now. I mean, look at how massive this strip mine is. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of massive things we're gonna build here. Strip mining is just the smallest part of it. The bigger issue though is that the biome that I used for my single biome world, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. I just realized that everything on top of the ocean bed is gravel, and I'm gonna need a lot of sand for my build, so you know what, this is not gonna work. So I decided to just copy this world, or just copy my progress on this base so far, and do it on a proper ocean biome. One that actually has sand. I mean, ocean sand, that sort of makes sense. So here we go, new world, warmer oceans. And I do realize that this is sort of borderline cheating, borderline. But yeah, I'm doing it. Deep warm oceans. I mean, who wouldn't want nice, deep, warm oceans? So we loaded up the new world, copied our progress over, and hopefully we'll find what we're looking for. So I copied everything over, swam inside, and there we go. The way oceans should be. Sand. Okay, so I've set up my furnaces, added some chests. It's time to use our diamonds. Let's get our helmet, get our leggings, get our boots, and of course, last piece, our chest plate. We're also gonna make diamond tools. We'll make a diamond pickaxe, a diamond sword, and there you go. Fully decked, all diamond. And before we can continue on our main mission on sort of saving civilization on this barren ocean world, we're gonna need to venture to a different kind of world first. And to do that, we're gonna need some obsidian. I'm gonna have to head to the Nether, grab some materials. So I mined a decent amount of obsidian, went back to the surface and built another portal right at my base. I was too lazy to mine a lot of obsidian since those things take a heck of a long time, so I mined just enough. Used redstone blocks instead for the corner pieces, grabbed my flint and tinder, lit it up, and it's time to go in. We'll get a good nether spawn. I jumped straight into the portal, and surely enough, I spawned in the middle of nowhere. But luckily for me, the end fortress was right across the portal. I needed to bridge my way through though, and this could get pretty tricky. I don't want to get hit by a blaze or a ghast and get flung into the lava. So I decided to make a bridge with some barriers on the sides. Because hey, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I firmly believe in that. Yeah, it almost went wrong. Right there. So this ended up being a pretty long bridge. I didn't have to bridge all the way through though, just enough for me to avoid the lava. So when I was at this point, I could start building the bridge without any walls. I also built myself a ladder for going back. There we go. Stairway from hell. Grabbed myself some soul sand and nether warts. And I actually already completed farming for my blaze rods, but it didn't get recorded. So you know what? We're gonna go back there and farm a few more, just for the cam. Yeah, I guess that's pretty decent. And for the next step, we're gonna farm for some ender pearls. I stared at some endermen, dug myself a little cave, and started farming. Okay, that should pretty much be everything that I need from the nether. For now at least. Went straight back to the overworld, and it was getting pretty late, so I decided, you know what, after so many days of no sleep, it's time for some rest. Said rest did not last long, however, as on the very next day, we're starting to do our mega project, and before I can do that, I built a little bridge that headed from my starter base towards my destination. And that destination is something that I've never tried to conquer before. An ocean monument. I've beaten Minecraft so many times, but I've never gone back to touch this. I just had so much bad memories from when I first started to learn how to play Minecraft. This thing was an absolute nightmare for me. But before that, I gotta get prepared. Ender Eye, and I'm gonna look for a stronghold. I had to install an add-on called Better Strongholds, so that these strongholds would spawn in an ocean-only biome. Fortunately, as you can see, the stronghold is above the seabed. Made my way to the end portal room, but I'm not about to enter it just yet. Musical bells. But it isn't time to enter the end just yet. I'm gonna go gather some cobwebs and beds. This time around, I'm gonna try a new strategy. Just beds and cobwebs. I don't have slow falling, nor do I have any comfortable enchants. I also found the library room. And I gathered as many books as I could. I do have 43 levels, so I'm gonna try and just get some enchants done. I'd usually go for protection 4 or 3 on most of my armor, but maybe not this time. I'm gonna try something different. I needed a tiny bit of XP before doing my final enchant, protection 4 on this chest piece. So I went grinding. Okay, that's a little bit more mobs than I expected. No, hang on. Nah, I think I need to make a run for it. Oh wait, skeleton with swords? Oh my gosh, they hurt. Oh no. Okay, hang on. I need a breather. Hang on. Oh man. That was close. I did not expect that. So yeah, I think the Stronghold mod added a new mob, and it hurts. It hits like a truck, but my curiosity got to me, and I headed back, which is probably not the best move. And then this happened. That light. Yeah. I think you probably know what that means. It's coming behind me. No, it's a creeper. No! Oh my word. Oh, that was close. That was way too close. That indeed was way too close. But I'm also one step away from entering the end, and I also got a Respiration 3 helmet, which would help for this ocean world, of course. I got tons of beds, and now it's time to stack them into my inventory. First things first, I'm gonna place the obsidian right where the Ender Dragon is gonna land. And yeah, once again, I've never attempted this before, especially in Minecraft Hardcore. I did a few practices in creative mode, but yeah, this is something different for me. And being the noob that I am, I'm not sure where the head will be, so I decided to just place beds on all corners. Better safe than sorry. That's what they say. Was almost done with the beacons when I had a little unfortunate hit, and Yeah, it knocked me off the perch. Well, luckily there was water underneath, so that wasn't a big issue at all. And I think that's my last beacon. Oh wait, there's one more right here. One more right here. Lucky for me, I didn't actually have to use my cobweb macros just yet. And now for the big one. Waiting for the Ender Dragon to land and finally trying the bed method. Gotta say, pretty nervous. Right, where's his head? Oh, wrong placement. You know what, I don't even care where his head is. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Right, that's 2. Okay. Oh, yipes. Okay. Right, so, yeah. So apparently if you place the beds facing the wrong direction, it's gonna hurt you a lot. Well, we just need a few more swings though, and this should be done. Just taking the fire out just a little bit. I don't want to lose all that XP later. I need to do some more enchants. Okay, more beds, more beds. We'll just place all 4 as usual, and I guess we just gotta wait for that thing to land again. Okay, final one, final one. Right, so where is he? Oh, he's coming down now. He's coming down now. Okay. Right, okay. I think one more hit should do it. Is he dead? Yeah, just to make sure. Oh gosh, that's a lot of fire. That's a lot of fire. Right, we're done, folks. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a first from me. Doing it with beds. Oh, I lost a lot of XP there. I think XP disappears when it gets in contact with fire, right? Yeah. Oh well, oh well. I'm not gonna fuss about that. Well, so much for setting up macros and whatnot. I did not need it, fortunately. But you know what else I don't need? Well, we'll find out soon enough. I do need enchants. I need enchants. Yeah, this one's not too good. I think I'll switch. Oh, no, don't explode. Don't explode. Oh my. Oh no. Oh gosh. Did I lose anything? Oh man, I had no armor on. Yeah, no armor. That would have meant certain death, and that would have been the dumbest way to die. But anyway, back to the end. There's a few more things that I want to grab. First and foremost, we're gonna need an end city. Fortunately, it wasn't too hard to find. Crank up the render distance to maximum. Hope your PC doesn't explode. Find the end chip. Simple enough. And now, we're just gonna grab that elytra. One problem though. Don't have any sugarcane, so not even sure that I'm gonna be able to use that. I grabbed the dragon egg, and I guess that's it for the end. The end of the end. On day 25, that's pretty fast for my standard. And once again, after a pretty long adventure, I think we're due for some sleep. I replaced my farm, which was filled with carrots earlier, with my newly found potatoes. Because yeah, carrots suck. So this is my enchants in the end. It's not too bad. The helmet and the boots are especially good for what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna need some potions, so here's my brewing stand and glass bottles, and we'll just grab some water here. Pretty sure you probably know what this is gonna be. We're gonna add nether wart first, and then pufferfish, and finally redstone dust. We're doing water breathing potions, and we're doing a lot of them. So I'm not sure how hard or how easy this is gonna be. I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty hard. Yeah, I've never done it before. That thing, that's my destination. So I headed out on day 26. Man, we're doing a lot. At this point in the recording, I sort of remember thinking to myself, what am I getting myself into? Now I sort of thought, you know, how hard could it be? How hard could it be? And boy, oh boy, was I underestimating the things to come. So, let's start with dumb stuff number 1. Don't lock yourself in. Yeah, why did I do this? This is sort of like either you make it out alive or you die inside. Because unless you beat all 3 Elder Guardians, you're pretty much trapped inside. I don't know why I did that. I have no idea. But needless to say, it didn't worry me then and there because, well, the thought just hadn't occurred to me. So, I found my very first Elder Guardian, and it turns out slaying these guys wasn't that difficult. In fact, it's actually pretty easy. As long as you go out of line of sight just a little bit, they don't damage you. This is a third Elder Guardian. And let me just show you. I pretty much over-prepared for this. Because, yeah. Here, let me show you. Get into line of sight, and that ray locks onto you. And then it deals damage. But as soon as you go out of line of sight, the ray disappears. Like so. That makes it really easy to avoid damage completely. So yeah, not that tough. So I found my first sponge room, and I took everything. Unfortunately, this one was the only one that I found on this ocean monument. Now, I was reading up online, and apparently you get a random number, 1 to 3, sometimes none. Which leads me into getting to my second ocean monument, because I hardly have enough sponges to do what I'm gonna do. Slayed all 3 guardians, and I found only 1 sponge room on this second ocean monument, unfortunately. So with that said, I went to another ocean monument, slayed all the guardians again, and fortunately for me, this time, we found 3 sponge rooms. And I think that should be enough for now. We can start doing the dreaded bit. So zooming out from my base, I tidied up the walkway, and I already marked the area on top of the ocean monument, where I'm gonna make a huge circle and start drying things up. But before I dry up the ocean monument, I need to dry up my my sponges. The easiest way to do that, go inside the Nether and just place the sponges. They dry up instantly. Way better than using furnaces to dry them up. And after you're done, you gotta grab all of the dry sponges back and pretty much rinse and repeat for each time you need to reuse all these sponges. So back to the overworld. This circle is 110 blocks in diameter. I was considering making it bigger, like something like, I don't know, almost 200 blocks. Whew, I'm so glad I didn't do that. That would have been insane. I need to head back to base real quick, because before we can do that, I need to gather up sand. And I need a lot of sand, so I crafted a few diamond shovels. I even went to the lengths to enchant some of them, because, well, Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4, that'll make life a little bit easier. I scraped the seabed and watched as the sand floated towards the surface of the vast oceans. I then swam up to start collecting all my loot. With shaders on, it appears almost as if the sand were shimmering, reflecting the glaring hot sun in this world. And after 6 boring days of just scraping for sand, I'm back at my base. And I set up a long set of furnaces. You know what, I think I should have just made a super smelter. That would have made my life just a little bit easier. But instead, I manually did this whole process. Right, time for the big one. 2, 3, 4 blocks. That's the amount of separation that we need to start drying up sections of this ocean monument. There's actually 2 ways to do this, but this is the first method that I'm gonna try, and I'll show you both, and I'll come to a conclusion on which step is best. Having the guardians constantly harass me during this process was it was really annoying, and an extra layer of that annoyance was having knockback on my sword. Every time I hit the guardian, I had to corner it to a wall so that I can efficiently kill it without smashing it all around the place. I decided to do this methodically. I'm gonna section off 2 rows at a time, and then I'll start drying up the center parts. You can dry the center bits with sponge, or you can just drop sand in. Under first impressions, I would think that using sponge was super easy, but, well, expectation versus reality, always different. Before I could dry up the center bits though, I needed to cover the outside layers with glass. Fortunately, I had Respiration 3, which really helped in the process of putting glass all around this 110 block diameter circle. And now it's time for the sponges. Well, I thought this was gonna be the easy part, but apparently it's kind of clunky in a way. As soon as you pop down one of the sponges, you sort of fall down in the water because the water around you disappears, and there will be spots here and there where water didn't fully absorb. That quickly became super annoying. I had to swim up to patch up sections that weren't fully absorbed by the sponge. And it's one thing to place the sponges, grabbing them back is a whole nother issue. And I think I did the mistake of not placing the sponges on top of each other. So when I finished drying it up, grabbing the sponge wasn't really that easy. This got me thinking if I should try a different method. Let me first show you a view from the bottom. I mean, that's kinda messy. For future reference, I would highly recommend, well, having the sponge pretty much be stacked up like a column. So when you need to collect the sponges, all you need to do is break them top to bottom. Went back to the Nether and I built a really tall column of sponges. One click collecting on the sponges were just a wee bit more satisfying. So on my second row, I tidied up a bit. As you can see, the sponges are all on top of each other. It actually worked out pretty well. Collecting the sponges weren't as tedious as the previous row. I considered using this method for the remaining rows, but I decided to just try another method just to see if that one is actually easier. Before we dive into that, we're gonna have to collect the sand that we used on our first row. Luckily, using torches at the bottom allowed the entire sand pillar to just fall down and fall right into my inventory. This was actually really satisfying. It's probably my favorite part of the whole drying process. There's something about the way that the sand falls down, it's just super satisfying. Let's have a little close-up of that. I'm loving the animations, they look super cool. Okay then, first row fully complete. That leaves us with 21 more rows. So a long ways to go, folks. After a few more smelting sessions, I finally had enough glass to fill the sides of this circular shape and fully enclose my ocean monument. So for this next row experiment, we're leaving 5 blocks instead of 4 between the sand walls, so it looks something like this. We'll also make square sections, which will allow us to place sponges directly in the middle of this 5x5 area. This is what the end product looks like, so we can swim all the way down, and we'll start building a sand pillar all the way up, right at the middle, like so. This will allow us to place the sponges in the middle and not have to worry about putting sponges at the side of the walls like we did on the first 2 rows. So let's see if this actually works out better than the previous method. I tried placing some sponges and well, some water actually remained on the sides, but that was easily handled by just placing sand blocks on the side. So I continued digging down while placing sponges strategically, and to be honest, I actually like this method. It's a lot more methodical, there's less error on water being left on the sides, and clearing up the sponges at the end of it was quite okay. Of course, this comes at the cost of having to section off each area into a 5x5 square. I'd say both methods are viable, and I actually like this one a lot better. However, when it came to making a time lapse on the actual process of drying everything up, using method number 2 just didn't really look that good. So in the end, I used method number 1. And here's how things ended up looking visually. It was kind of fun to see all of those sand drop as the layers upon layers of rows collapsed one after another. The days went by pretty fast at this phase. I mean, we were at day 30-ish when we started to dry this up, and well, we're quickly headed to day 100. The initial plan was to do 100 days of Minecraft hardcore here, but it ended up turning into way more than that. After day 107, I finally finished. That was a huge relief, as shown by me jumping around. After roughly 70 days of monotonous drying up, I can finally focus my efforts on building something fun. But I gotta say, it was truly satisfying. I mean, having a look at this dried up ocean monument, especially considering this is the first time that I've ever attempted this, just felt great. We can't stop here though, folks. As planned, we want to turn this into a sanctuary. And again, we want to bring back civilization, one step at a time. First things first, I gotta head down into the ocean monument. We still gotta dry up the insides, and we're also gonna need to build some guardian farms. I've never actually built a guardian farm before as well, and I don't really intend to make my guardian farm super efficient or anything like that, just as long as it works. So I went inside and well, drying up these bits weren't as hard as drying up the outer parts. Just section one area off, put a sponge on one corner, and another one on the other, and we're good. That's not difficult. I started doing the same thing on multiple rooms until everything was finally dried up. Building the guardian farm wasn't too difficult. The really annoying bit was again dealing with the guardians. So they were spawning really well inside the farms, but I didn't really close off the lower sections just yet. And yeah, apparently these buggers can still damage you even if they're outside of water. So before things got too chaotic, I had to cover this bottom bit as soon as possible. It's a really simple farm. You just funnel the guardians all the way to the center chute down here. Place campfires at the bottom to kill the guardians. Place hoppers underneath the campfires to lead into chests. And that's it. There's nothing too complicated about it. I've seen some other guardian builds online where they're super efficient, but I thought I didn't really need that. I mean, as long as it works, I can just AFK for a really long time. Now that the Guardians are contained inside that area, I gotta clean up just a bit because these guys are everywhere. Let's get rid of them. Okay, finally, some peace. As I was heading back to finish my Guardian farm, I had to stop to notice this really awesome silhouette on the glass outer sections. Combined with the refractions from the sunset on this shader, it just looks really good. Super satisfying stuff. Okay, hopper time. I used a lot of chests, because I do plan on AFKing for a super long time. The plan is, when I get back from my AFK session, hopefully I will have enough materials to start building my complex. The farm is working fine. An added bonus is that we get fish from this as well, so we won't really need to farm for food anymore. I also had to replace the bottom bits of the farm with soul sand, as that would make the farm a lot more efficient. And yes, indeed, it's a really simple farm. Just a small enclosed area where the Guardians can spawn, and then a layer of water at the very top to push them to the center, some gates, and then they fall down. And yes, indeed, I've seen much better, much more efficient farms, but I mean, as you can see, in the grander scheme of things, this one works just fine. It works just fine. And here's a little dumb moment on my end. I mean, usually if I see a wandering trader, I kill it. But as I will realize later, this was not the best choice. I also made a really quick aesthetic change to my base. I did not like this blue outline on the circle, so I replaced that. And then I also made an AFK platform high up in the sky. I intend to stay here for a very, very long time. In fact, I pretty much left my computer on for pretty much a whole day. Lowest power settings to save on electricity, because yeah, that stuff is expensive nowadays. It was at this point that I realized AFK farming can be pretty expensive in terms of real life stuff. But anyway, I was done. And I didn't really count the AFK days towards the day count. Otherwise, this would be like a 1000 day video, so I'm not gonna do that. So let's go down and check the status of our chests. I mean, I have 4 Guardian farms already, 1 on each corner. Let's go farm some ink sacks. Back at base, I've already set up a lot of shulker boxes with the materials stored inside. I color-coded the shulker boxes just to make life a little bit easier for me, and you know what? I think we can start building soon. The chests on the Guardian farms are pretty much filled up. Crafting was a bit tedious, admittedly, but, well, at least I got all the materials that I needed, so I packed up my shulker boxes and it's time to start building. And you know what? I wasn't even sure what I was gonna build. I did a lot of sketches of different renditions of how I wanted my base to look, and I finally settled on this one look. It involves the massive towers that you see on a lot of people's mega builds. It was really daunting to me at first, and it did turn out to be a pretty daunting project. At the same time, trying something new is always fun. Admittedly, I think I only have enough materials for 1 tower, but we can easily AFK our way through for the rest of the towers too. So anyway, this is the base layer. I poured some water on the sides just in case I fall. I mean, I do have an elytra with me, but I don't have any rockets, so if I fall towards the wrong direction, things can easily go south. So for this part of the build, we're mainly going to focus on the materials that we get from the Guardian farm, so that's prismarine blocks, sea lanterns, and dark prismarine. I'm using dark prismarine as the outer layers, as in for those pillars at the outer side, and I'm using the sea lantern as sort of an outline aesthetic. I'm also building some circular shapes at the middle of this tower. I'll explain what that's supposed to be in a bit. For now, I'm just building upwards first. I'm liking how it looks so far, but my main worry at this point was how things would look when I actually finish all the towers. Because it's not just gonna be 1 tower, folks. My issue was, is it gonna be too cramped? Will I actually be able to see all the towers with a good vantage point? Because I don't really want to undo this. Once I finish building it, it's just gonna be way too tiring for me to redo everything. Anyway, at this point, I'm starting phase 2 of the first tower, which is building the diagonal section. We're gonna sort of push this tower towards the center, and then afterwards, we're gonna try and build upwards again. I do have a little bit of a phobia for heights, and even though this isn't a skyblock world, looking down from up here, and considering the fact that I no longer have water protection when I'm moving towards the front side of the towers, I gotta say I was worried about falling and dying while building. That would suck. That would suck. And we're almost done on this side. Aesthetically, looking good. I still gotta make another circle as well on the front side, and that one will be a little bit more tricky, just because we're not building on even terrain, but we'll work it out. I think in total it took me give or take 20 days for each of these towers. Yes, I'm a slow builder, but hey, practice makes perfect. So instead of making you watch through me building all 4 towers, I think it would be more exciting to just make a grand reveal of the finished build. We'll start from the insides. The geometry inside the structures looks real good. This is a view from the top of the tower towards the base of it. Oh, and you know what? If you've actually watched this far, it would be great if you considered subscribing to a brand new channel. It would mean a lot to me. And this is how things look from the outside. One tower facing another one right across it. The sea lantern outlines just look amazing at nighttime. Have a look at that. And I wonder if any one of you can actually guess what the inspiration of this build is. Like, what are those circles supposed to be? What's this whole shape? Well, I'll explain everything in a bit, but if you want to comment now and make a guess, that'd be great. This is a view from the outside. As we leave the water, the tower goes way above. I guess one thing that I couldn't fix here though is I couldn't really spawn-proof the outside. There's some parts where mobs can spawn, so that might be a bit of a problem later on. But hey, who cares about problems when things look so good? So this front bit, those circles, they're like tentacle mouths, and this whole build is based off one of my favorite mobs from one of my favorite add-ons. These are Kraken tentacles, gigantic. The pink stuff, those are the tentacle mouths. The diagonal one, admittedly, was really complicated to build, but eventually we got it working great. Yeah, that's how it looks, guys. 250 days. And finally, part 1 of the MEGABASE is done. Our little sanctuary. But what's the point of having a sanctuary with nothing to protect? So now it's time to figure things out. What living things can we salvage in this world, ravaged by an ocean apocalypse? Unfortunately for whichever folks who will live here in the future, they're probably gonna have to be pescatarians, because no meat, no chicken, no sheep, no cow, no pigs either. Not even hoglins. I mean, if you try to move hoglins to the overworld, they turn into hoglins. So yeah, pork is out of the question. Anyway, next phase. It's time we convert those barren sands in our sanctuary into something more lush. And to do that, I'm gonna need to enchant my pickaxe. So off we go to the enchanting station, and hopefully we get Silk Touch. After a few tries, I finally got it. A Silk Touch pickaxe. The plan is, we're gonna go into the Nether, and we're gonna grab as many Crimson Nylium and Warped Nylium as possible. Now, I was under the impression that you only needed 1 or 2 of these Nyliums and they would spread in the overworld, but unfortunately that's not the case. They only spread when they're in the Nether. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to grab as much as I can. Along the way, I also grabbed warped roots and Nylium roots as well. I do want to plant some of those trees in my sanctuary too, especially considering I don't actually have any access to actual trees just yet, although that is probably something that we can solve later on. So I built a little outline to separate the warped and the Crimson Nylium section of my base. I also built a little sort of artificial river flowing in between. So here's me replacing pretty much all the sand with Nylium. I made it a point to try and keep the natural shape of the terrain, so I'm basically just replacing the blocks. And next, let's add some trees. Nether trees. One here. One there. Another one over on this side. Another one in the corner. And finally, one in the middle, right here. On the other corner of my base, I built a little bridge crossing sort of a man-made river here, with water flowing right from the oceans. There's also a little pond right in front of me. First things first, let's replace the sand with Nylium as well. I also planted a chorus tree to add a little spice on this corner over here. To be honest, I also considered ending the video at this point, but I really wanted to make something special. And in order to do that, I'm gonna need turtles. I'm gonna need their eggs. I'm thinking you folks probably already know what kind of farm I'm trying to build. But yeah, there are no turtles in this ocean-only biome. So yeah, I'm gonna have to install some mods. This one mod in particular is called Better Turtles, or something like that. And basically, they add turtles in the Nether. So you know what? Let's go check it out. Let's see if it works out. I'm gonna head straight into the Nether and see if I can find those turtles, magmatic turtles they call it, and see if it actually works. And if it doesn't, yeah, I'm sort of screwed. But we gotta give it a shot first. So I'm right back here. I had a quick scan at my surroundings, and oh, there's a turtle right there. I approached the magmatic turtles and I gotta say they look pretty good. Apparently, according to the lore on the mod, these magmatic turtles, they're just always angry all the time. So let's give it some love. And let's hope they lay some eggs. Oh, there's one right there. Great. I actually placed sand because I wasn't sure where they were gonna place the eggs. Gonna grab it with my Silk Touch pickaxe and give it a test. Right, hopefully this works. Yeah, those... wait. Are they... Yeah, they're interested. Oh, no. No, they're not. No, they're not. Right, so they're not behaving the same way. That's no good. I can't use these turtle eggs. Right. Back to the drawing board. I grabbed the turtle eggs anyway because I think I'll breed them in our sanctuary. I think they would make a great addition. Back at base, I started placing sand in preparation for my turtle farm. And yeah, this time I had to install another mod. It's called Better Wandering Traders or Improved Wandering Traders or something like that. And what the mod does is give wandering traders a few more trade options, including turtle eggs. I had little issues getting wandering traders to spawn because apparently they need to be around 48 blocks away from you for them to pop up, and they need to be in a well-lit area. So I started placing torches all around my starter base to try and get them to spawn. But still I have the issue of that 48 block range. So on top of lighting the area up, I needed to find a way to AFK 48 blocks away. And we also have one more problem. If we have wandering traders, I might need a few more emeralds before I can actually effectively trade with them. So I went emerald hunting. Technically, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, there's a lot of shipwrecks here and there, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. Unfortunately, I'm not really having that much luck. The shipwrecks that I've gone to have been having pretty crappy loot so far. Rotten potatoes, carrots, wheat, basically things that I already have. I farmed drowned in hopes for a trident. Unfortunately, no luck. And what the hell is this dolphin doing? Stuck in a magma cube. Let's save this bugger. You know what? I might want to put that in my sanctuary. Oh, finally an emerald. I also stumbled upon another stronghold while I was venturing for shipwrecks. This one was kind of cool. There's a shipwreck stuck right underneath the stronghold. I also ventured inside real quick. Yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. I went back out to my next shipwreck and I found bamboo. This is gonna be useful. Man, I wish I had this before when I was doing all my MEGABASE stuff. Scaffolding would have been super useful. And finally on the next chest, a bit of luck. This is one of those chests with a lot of emeralds. So now I have just about 1.5 stacks. And I think that should be enough. I went back home and I added a layer of dirt on the outside perimeter of my starter base. I also removed the bridge that led from my starter base to the sanctuary. Fortunately, bone meal works with bamboo, so I could easily accelerate this process. I'm gonna encircle the entire starter base with bamboo. Yep, they're growing pretty fast. Okay, it's time to plant them bamboos. I have a feeling that this area will actually look pretty good once all them bamboo trees are fully grown. Finally, I built an AFK platform just around 48 blocks from the surface. That way, hopefully we can get wandering traders to spawn down below. I actually had to wait for quite a long time before I spotted my very first wandering trader. It's funny how you never really want to have these guys spawn, but when you want them to spawn, they just don't. When I found my first one, yeah, he didn't really have the trades that I needed. I got trolled. Had to wait a few more days before the next wandering trader stopped by. This time though, he had an oak sapling. That is a great addition to the sanctuary. I was mulling over whether to buy one or several. Emerald is limited. I ended up buying 2, just to be safe. 2 should be plenty. And now we gotta wait for some more wandering traders. A few more days have passed. And finally, another trader popped up. And oh, there it is. Turtle egg. Finally, that one thing that I was really after. There's one last thing that I needed, and it finally arrived. Sugarcane. I can finally use my elytra. And now, it's just a waiting game. It took quite some time until the first egg finally hatched. And as I was taking a nap, I could hear it. A turtle hatched to my left, right there. It's time to breed him. I gotta get this one fully grown, so I fed it a lot of seagrass. Not long after, adult turtle. Finally. Fast forward a few days, I started grabbing the turtle eggs. And now, we can start heading to the Nether, and we can build that one farm that I really wanted to make. And have a look at my starter base, now that it's filled with bamboo. It looks pretty good. Oh, and before going into the Nether, I wanted to make a quick note. Since I couldn't get turtle eggs, I was thinking of doing something like turtles suddenly fell from the sky. In the end though, I decided against that idea. I guess the mods worked okay. Oh, and before leaving to the Nether, I should probably replace some of these bamboos with sugarcane. Unfortunately though, I didn't realize that you can't use bone meal on sugarcane. I just had to wait for them to grow naturally. Which is sort of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Finally into the Nether, I started digging my way up to the Nether roof, used some ladders with my ender pearl to get to the Nether roof. Face up, ender pearl, hold W, and we should be at the roof. Voila, there we go. Right, building the farm. So the whole point of getting those turtle eggs was making this farm right here. This is gonna be another first for me. I've never built a gold farm before. I watched some tutorials and fortunately this is one of the easiest farms to build. Nothing complicated about it at all. And I'm really glad I got scaffolding already. That totally makes my life easier for this part of the build. I already noticed a little problem when I was on my very first layer. So apparently after installing that extra turtle mod, yeah, these turtles, they're spawning on the platform. That might be something we have to sort out. We'll do that a bit later. We'll just get the farm done first. When I got to my final layer, I got a bit of aggro. Not a big deal, but it did blow up parts of my platform. So I had to redo that bit. I only have enough magma blocks for 4 layers, so I guess that'll do. For the final bit, we're just gonna have to spawn-proof the ceilings. We simply do that by not leaving any area up here larger than a 2x2x2 box. Therefore, the only things that can spawn here should be zombified piglins. Well, other than those turtles. However, I uninstalled the turtle mods for now. I know that's kind of cutting corners, but again, we're gonna have to save up on electricity here, and lesser efficiency means more time wasted on keeping my PC on doing the whole AFK process. Anyway, time to fly down and check our loot. I'm doing my elytra flight without any rockets, so let's hope we land up there. I should have rockets after this though. Once I get to base, I'm gonna start crafting them. Okay, the drops look good. The only annoying bit is you gotta go through all those rotten flesh and you gotta turn the nuggets into ores and the ores into blocks. Not a big deal. After several AFK sessions, I managed to get my shulker box filled with gold blocks. Alright, I guess it's time to head back to the overworld. I was greeted by a large pack of zombified piglins when I got out. But anyway, time to head to base. It's time to transform our ocean monument. So I wanted this build to have sort of a Lost City vibe. Like Lost City of Atlantis sort of vibes. Combined with some Aztec gold. However you want to spin it. I just wanted this to be gold. I started out by leaving some outlines because I wasn't sure if I wanted it to be fully gold or whether I wanted to use other blocks on the build as well. Now there's a lot of fun details on the other parts of the build, and I'll give you a quick tour as soon as we finish this. We're now turning towards the backside of the ocean monument, and I wanted to add some sea lanterns on that large space just to give it some character. Finally, after some deliberating, I decided to replace the top surfaces with red nether bricks. I think the red color goes really well with the gold. Combined with shaders and all the reflections and the lights going around, man, I am really liking this build. But we're far from done. We've still got a job. Restoring civilization. And in order to do that, we're gonna need the help of some zombie villagers. I could have just made a platform outside to get safer spawns because I don't really want many creepers to spawn down here. But moving the cured villagers down here would be a bit of a hassle, so I decided to take the risk and just take out the torches from underneath my ocean monument. This should effectively make the underside of this ocean monument a mob farm. Got a decent area darkened out. It's time to go hunting. Right, let's see if we can find one. It's been a few tries now. Right, zombie villager. Oh no, I think it's going for that skeleton. They aggroed each other. No, don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Let me block that. Okay, got it. Got him. No, creeper. No, don't break my farm. Don't break my farm. Yeah, we're gonna have to maneuver around a little bit here. There's still a lot of spawns coming from the right side as well. One more creeper there. I think I'm not doing this right. How do I trap this guy? I should have thought this through a little better. Okay, he's the only one left. Should be able to sort this out. I like the area just a little bit. And after all that, unfortunately, the zombie villager died. We'll give it another go. So basically the easiest way to get these mobs to spawn back in is just to fly out and fly back. That resets the mobs that spawn underneath. This time around, I've set up 2 holes to trap the zombie villagers, so I'll trap one here. That went a lot better than the first attempt. We'll handle the rest of the mobs. And now, time to cure our first zombie villager. Splash potion of weakness, golden apple, and all we gotta do is wait. I also want to name tag them so that I know which 2 cured villagers were the first settlers in this colony. We'll clear up some mobs again. And at one point, I had too much aggro, so I had to go into my little hidey hole here. Fortunately, the zombie survived, and soon after, I got the achievement. Zombie Doctor. Now, all we need is a second zombie villager, and we can start colonizing this place. How you doing, buddy? Just stay there for a bit. So here's my preferred method for resetting the spawns underneath the ocean monument. You just gotta fly out around 100-ish blocks, fly back, and you'll have a new set of mobs. 1 in 20 of zombies that spawn should be zombie villagers. So after a few attempts, I came right back. Fortunately, another zombie villager popped up. This time around, things got a little bit hairy. The mobs were pretty much clumped together and I had to snipe my way through. And not only that, I accidentally got zombies into the safe spot. Oh, I got a creeper in there as well. That's great. That's great. Well, that sort of means I gotta kill that creeper before I get the zombie villager in, otherwise it might just explode. Okay, we give it a few more swings, and alright, hopefully this guy goes in, and great, okay, he's in. Give him a tag, and now I gotta convert this back from all this chaos. I gotta put all the torches back. Okay, just a few more and we should be done. Take care of these mobs, have a quick glance around and make sure there's no more dark areas. And I think that's it. And I look like a mess. Well, in the name of saving humanity, that's fine. All right, down to business. Splash potion of weakness, golden apple, and we're on the right track. Right, both of them have been cured, and I've prepared an area for them to have some sweet sleep. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let's take a nap as well. Gonna throw them some food, and before you know it, love is in the air. We'll probably see a newborn baby soon. There we go, folks. The very first newborn child in the sanctuary. I should have gave him a name tag as well, but I ran out. Anyway, let's do finishing touches on our base. The new colonists, they're gonna need a home. So I built something Nether themed. I also built a Crimson version too. Admittedly, I copied this design from someone's mod pack. After 300 days of Minecraft, creativity just goes down the drain. Soon after, love is in the air again. Villagers making out. Just putting out love emojis all across the base, on every corner. We also reinstalled the turtle mod, and you know what? Let's repopulate this colony. Give it some spice. Give it some something other than just villagers. We'll do the same for regular turtles as well. Still no meat though, no sheep, no cows, no pigs, no chickens. I don't think they're gonna eat the turtles, but well, we have an unlimited supply of fish, so that should be fine. I mean, hey, fish are healthy. Why not? Why not? We're gonna have a lot of turtles when these all hatch. Anyway, we went from this, our starter base from humble beginnings, which to be fair actually looks pretty cool in its own right. And then we built something massive. This sanctuary, in all its glory, protected by these giant pillars, defined by an ancient golden ocean monument. It's time for the final tour, folks. Let's go check out all of the nooks and crannies and all the awesome spots that we've built into this sanctuary. Oh, I almost fell to my death there. Forgot my elytra. Down we go to the bottom of the towers. That wasn't really a smooth flight. Letters engraved on the floor, SUB, subscribe if you haven't already, of course. And straight away, we're already greeted by the OG. One of the two first settlers in the sanctuary. The view from below is pretty epic as well. But there's so much more that I want to show you. No, that is not the toilet, no. Well, one thing's for certain, I do need to teach these villagers some manners. So, details. I engraved these sea lanterns onto the back side of the ocean monument. I'm trying to sort of mimic what you usually have on the front side of ocean monuments. Just add some spice to the build. And on this corner is basically a little forest. I purposefully didn't build any structures on this end. We do have some inhabitants on this corner though, and I'll be showing you that in a sec. I can see some to my right already. I planted a lot of vegetation on this side to make it more lush. And there we go. Grown magmatic turtles have made their way to this forest end of the build. Yeah, this ain't Mario Bros. That ain't gonna work. We also have a cat in the colony as a byproduct of the village. You know what? That's the first mammal. No, we don't mess with cats. If there's one thing I learned on the internet, you don't mess with cats. I also set up farms, carrots and potato farms underneath the base, giving the settlers something to do. An iron golem also spawned as well. So that's one more thing that came back to civilization. I also decorated the chorus tree a little bit, and I added some lighting to it, torches here and there. Unfortunately though, there's some spots that I couldn't cover, and after a while, it sort of became a hazard. Creepers can spawn right on top. There was just no way I could put torches near that, unfortunately. We're just gonna have to watch out. And on this corner, our little relaxing spot. The green turtles made their way in already. I love how they're just hanging about, some in the water, some at the sides of this little pool. I built steps so that it would be easier for the turtles to make their way up and down. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Just to make sure that they can walk up. There we go. That's pretty slow, but yeah. Share some love. Okay, we're done with this corner of the base. Let's head to the residential area where these folks live. Admittedly, I only have enough space for 3 houses. I should have built this area a bit bigger, but in hindsight, oh look at these younglings. Yeah, in hindsight, making the base bigger would have been tiring. Anyway, the living space is quite tight. Just lots of beds crammed inside, profession tables inside the houses as well. A little river separating the area. This one has a stream flowing from the sides. Oh, look at that. Give him a little push. Off he goes. One red house over here, and finally, the volcanic section. Volcanoes provide nutrients to the land. I layered the area crimson, netherrack, added some nether ores as well. Gold nether ores here, sand, dirt on this side, soul soil, even have a fossil on this side just to add some character. We got some stray villagers playing around this volcanic section. Not the best idea. There's lots of lava pits here. I think he should move away. Bugger off. Off you go. Off you go. Well, to be fair, villagers are really good at avoiding danger. Probably better than my personal set of skills. But still, I'd prefer if he stays away from this spot. So yeah, from a top-down view, it looks pretty sick. And the volcanic section, I used basalt pillars and added lava streams flowing down from the top. Looking great on that sunset. Everything is coming into place. Getting the soil rich again from nutrients from the volcanoes. Getting souls back into the sanctuary from curing the zombie villagers. And have a look at the living quarters from the outside of the sanctuary. It's like everyone's living inside this aquarium. If there's one spot that I haven't shown you yet, it's my living quarters. But we'll get to that in a bit. And one of the most important parts of our base is that thing in the middle, on top of the monument. A symbol of hope for the future. It's the colony's very first tree, essential to all life on the planet. There's also a few things that I purposefully left on this structure. These torches, just to remind me of how difficult it was to dry up this ocean monument. On top of that, they also provide a pretty cool aesthetic. And I guess more importantly, I needed a way to stop creepers from spawning on these roofs. Let's not forget the unsung hero of this episode though. The reason we have trees. This guy. The wandering trader. Usually really hate these folks, but this time around, they're lifesavers. Literally. Let's see what he has for trades. Wheat seeds. And oaks. I already have oak, but you know what? Bucket of tropical fish ain't too bad. Maybe I'll grab some. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell? What the? Okay, this must be one of those add-ons. Oh man. That hurt, that hurt. I gotta run. I gotta run. What the hell? Man. Okay. Maybe I should make a good habit of reading add-on descriptions fully before installing them. Where is he? Yeah, there he is. Where's my helmet? Yeah, let's shoot him from here. Oh, wait a sec. Did he just he turned back. Huh. Let's have a look. Can't find my helmet. I read the mod page and apparently they turn into thieves and they steal your stuff. Unless you trade with them, they'll be fine. If you don't, they become a thief. So I came prepared and I grabbed some emeralds. Gonna try and make friends this time. Okay, I'll buy something off of him this time round. Oh wait. That's my shulker box. And my helmet. And seagrass for... Oh man. You know what? I'm buying the helmet back, but I'm gonna kill for the rest. I'm just gonna have to. Nope, not gonna waste my my precious emeralds on buying back stuff that's mine. So here we go. Final fight. Of all things, thieves in a new society. We don't want that. I had to kill these skeleton llamas to get my stuff back. Apparently my helmet was with one of those folks. Anyway. The last bit of the tour. My room. The only spot we haven't been to. Home. And you know what? Nothing special about it. Just beds, some storage, and that's that. Got way too tired building everything else that I didn't have the energy nor mental capacity to decorate my home. But truly, this is the real home. Have a look at how the assortment of biomes look from the top. I, for one, am super proud of this build. I've never built anything quite like it. 350 plus days, not including AFK hours. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like the video. See you guys next time.